Hey guys, in my previous video I talked about the Vixen's Entrapment gloves, and I was doing Impending Doom build and I wasn't sure if I'm gonna continue the build, and I wanted to quit this build so many times. I tried so many different ways of playing it, so many ways of triggering the Impending Doom, and I ended up finding a way that was unexpected, I guess, and most of you seeing this kind of gameplay just gonna shake their heads saying, oh, it's clunky, I don't like this. And I'm not gonna try to convince you. I personally like this kind of playstyle. Almost reminds me of old school PoE when people were trying to discover like funky mechanics, and for some reason I like this a lot. I'm gonna talk about Doom, Impending Doom, about the Doom mechanics, and also there's important information if you're gonna be planning something around the Impending Doom. Important information to know, because pathful building fooled me like 4 times. I thought that, oh, this is the damage that I have, but oh, turns out this doesn't work. And then later turns out, oh, this actually also is increasing my damage way more than it should. So after reducing and fixing all the damage to the correct values in pathful building, I have 5 million average hit damage on Impending Doom. And this is exclusively Impending Doom build. I don't have a Hexblast. I don't want to click 2 buttons. And it may seem like it's a slow clear speed, but you basically have 1.5 second delay before Impending Doom explodes. But no one says that you cannot kill enemies faster and, well, clear the bag. That's what I did in most of the clips. It's a bit dangerous to do, but I basically curse enemies and then quickly dash into enemy bag with the Frost Blink. And because I have very high crit chance, if I kill one enemy, all the enemies are gonna explode. Like defensively, this build doesn't have a lot of things, but this build is sort of just don't get hit kind of build. Temporal Chain helps you with that, and essentially, yeah, I do have some defensive layers, well, 6k HP, and then almost capped block. Attack block is capped, spell block is not capped, and I do have Staff Mastery, which recovers 2% life and ES on block. ES doesn't matter, just mainly life. Now, I got slightly lucky playing this build and got some currency and was able to invest more into this build, but it's not too expensive build. I don't know how much would it cost. Like, there are so many different ways of building this. Essentially what I'm doing is using Doomsday, and Doomsday, you basically create a hexed area, and you can only have one hexed area, and you can only create a hexed area with the curses that have Doom, and only curses that you cast manually can gain Doom. If they are triggered, they do not gain Doom. So you can only create one hexed area, and after 1 second, the enemies in that area gonna get maximum Doom with that curse. And once that happens, Fated and Ring will trigger after another half a second, and then is gonna cause that hex, that curse, to expire. Specifically, I guess hex, not Assassin's Mark. So it's gonna cause that hex to expire, and once that does, that triggers Impending Doom. This is like the simpler version of the build. I was trying without the Doomsday, and the Doomsday basically locks your trigger rate at 1.5 seconds. Without it, you essentially could curse like multiple enemies, like curse enemies on one side of the screen and then on the other side of the screen, and like both packs would explode, and they would not have to be standing in that area. So you could curse the enemies, move away, they could chase you, and they would still explode. Now with the Doomsday, you create like the area. So when playing with the Doomsday, I wanted as big AoE as possible, and slow enemies down as much as possible, so that we have less chances to escape from that area and well, explode. If you're playing without Doomsday, you can also reach similar proc rate, but then you have to stack a bunch of hexes have increased Doom gain rate. And I had, actually I need to check my PUB, I have it in the notes, I had 325% increased Doom gain rate, and I was still triggering at 1.5 second delay, which felt bad. I don't know how to explain this, but that 1.5 second comparison to 1.8 second, it just feels like a massive difference. And without Doomsday, essentially, you need to ramp up the Doom gain rate so that the curses would reach maximum Doom gain, but I'm also getting maximum Doom, so I'm actually having I was testing multiple shenanigans. I had 56 maximum doom. Right now I have 50 maximum doom. 50 maximum doom because plus 10 from one passive and then another plus 10 from amulet. You can catalyst this to 12, but you will still need 3 small cluster jewels to reach the breakpoint. The breakpoint is every 5 doom. Every 5 doom, your impending doom is gonna get another 40% more damage, which is very massive. So the damage can be very high in path of building when you're building around maximum doom, but no matter what, it's gonna feel clunky because you still need to reach maximum doom. You can play around with like instant or like no duration courses. There are shenanigans with like reduced duration, anomalous. No, not anomalous. One of the alt quality on the course. No, alt quality impending doom. But those are difficult to get. Pretty much no one uses them, so you're gonna have to gamble yourself. It's a lot easier to just get Doomsday and not worry about the increased doom gain rate, and like always explode after 1.5 seconds. And no matter how much maximum doom you got, you can still ramp up more maximum doom. Now if you're going without the Doomsday and ramping up maximum doom, you're gonna want large cluster jewel, then you're gonna want either small cluster jewel with the inevitable doom, which add plus 3 to maximum doom, and hexes have 50% increased doom gain rate. I had 2 of these. You can also get Megalomaniac with something nice. I wanted a bit more life, so I tried to get that. And those are not expensive. It does not seem like a lot of people care about that. Most people use trigger courses, and trigger courses don't benefit from hexes. Now, I maybe should have mentioned that sooner. The important thing about the PUB and how it can trick you. So here's the thing. Empower does not affect Impending Doom. If you check in path of building, Empower does increase the damage. And it does increase the damage by a truckload. Especially, well, in this staff that I'm using. I'm using Kaom of Kulemak. So Empower doesn't work. Enhance also does not work. It does show that it works in here. It links to Impending Doom, but it does not work in game. Ashes of the Stars also does not work. Anything that gives plus 1 to Hears is not gonna work, including Awaken added Hears. At level, I don't know, at level 5 I think you get plus 1. But because it's in the plus staff, which gives plus 3, essentially I would get a lot more damage than I should, because plus 1 is not giving me damage. Now Awaken added Hears is actually so weak compared between like level 1 and level 5. It barely gives any damage. So another thing, since I am using Vixen's Entrapment, I was actually testing things around. I had Despair in my main setup, then I had Punishment, then I tried like Enfeeble, something else. And right now, I'm not really going for full damage. I'm still using Temporal Chain, which could be replaced with Punishment for more damage when enemies are on low life. So here's the problem if you were to use some damaging course inside these gloves. Damaging Hex. The Assassin's Mark is a mark and is not gaining Doom, so it's not gonna matter for what I'm about to say. But if you were to use Punishment, let's say you were to replace Temporal Chain with Punishment, you get a bunch of damage, but Path for Building does not recognize which courses are casted manually and which one are casted as a trigger. And it gives Doom to all the courses. You set basically Doom in here, and then all the courses have Doom. Damage wise, you would be actually getting more, but I already fixed that. You basically have to reduce the Punishment course effect, for example, if you're adding Punishment. If I do not add Punishment, my damage would be much higher. So I have to, if I add Punishment, also have 100% reduced course effect, because if we take a look at the Punishment, the course effect, you can see that Doom is giving 100% increased course effect, and that is because of the ring. I have 50 maximum Doom, and the ring gives me twice the effect of the Doom. So if I have 50 Doom, I'm getting 100% increased effect of courses. So you can basically verify that you are getting Doom for the Punishment, which in game would not be getting Doom. So that's why I'm also reducing the Punishment by 100% effect. And that's how you fix the Punishment. Like I said, I also added Here's damage. If I currently have level 4, but it's level 7 because of the staff. And it would be getting +1 to active skill gems. And in Pathful Building, if you set it at level 4, it's gonna give you +1 to active skill gems, and like I said, Empower affects it, and +1 is also affecting the Impending Doom, but that's not correct. So I basically lowered this to level 1, which remains at level 4 in the staff, and then add an additional flat damage, which is only 17 to 25 here's damage to spells. I wrote it in here, and oh, actually you cannot see. Oh, man, you could not see this. You're gonna be able to see those custom modifiers in PUB. I do have 5% critical strike chance from Brittle Ground. Without it, the crit chance is not that great, and you lose a lot of damage. But Brittle Ground is pretty easy, and it's very actually convenient. Like, you curse enemies, you wait like a half a second, dash onto enemies and start moving, and then create a Brittle Ground, and enemies will be on Brittle Ground, and you essentially will have 100% crit chance. It's a bit clunky, but yeah, it is what it is, and I personally like this kind of playstyle. Like the boots, you also don't need the Doom gain rate if you're playing with the Doomsday. The Cane of Kulemak is not expensive. I managed to link it myself. All you need is +3 support gems, and then quality of supported gems. I believe it's a hybrid. So +3 to support gems, and then here's damage, and that's it. Now, but here's the trick: if you want to play with the 0 duration curses, which you can by not taking any increased curse effect duration, like you would not want to take this, but this is massive AoE. You would also want alt quality, I don't remember which, and then you want also a unique ring. You want a time clasp ring with 10% reduced skill effect duration. You also want the amulet with as much reduced skill effect duration as well, and you may want anointment or a second ring. But for me, that seems like a massive sacrifice, using either 2 rings or 1 ring and the amulet and the anointment, and all of those items do not have life or damage, just cast speed, and that's pretty much it. Just to be able to spam like your curses and instantly explode Impending Doom. But then you would not have the Doom. You would have Mastery, which allows you to 20% chance for hexes you cast, which can gain Doom to be applied with maximum Doom. Like if you compare the damage between 50, let's say, Doom and no Doom, which is like 4 times the difference. So essentially you have with that mastery, with that 20% mastery, it's like, imagine 20% chance to deal quadruple damage, something like that. So you can do that. You can do the spell cascade method. I don't want to talk about too much because this video is already too long, and this is the first time I'm messing with the Doom, so I don't want to explain too much in case I get something wrong. I just wanted to explain the build that I am doing here. And I wanted to finish the build. The build is done. Not gonna be continuing playing this, although I do enjoy it. But I do want to do remake this build into a secret build. And I keep it secret because the build may suck and not work the way I think. But one thing for sure, it will not have damage. But it may be an interesting interaction. So for the next video, I'm gonna probably rework the build into that secret and show you that secret build, which isn't really anything too special unless it works way better than I expect. So until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you the next time. Bye bye.